Check 1 2. Testing, testing. Presented by Reynolds Body Shop, McDonald's Avon, and the Hendricks County Flyer, and powered by Audio Sports Online, Avon Varsity Football is on the air. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we are coming to you live from atop the press box here in Zionsville, Indiana, where the Zionsville Eagles will host the Avon Orioles in the last regular season game of the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. This will be the last game before the start of the Indiana high school football playoffs, and both of these teams are looking for something to build on heading into the next week. Avon comes in with a record of 5-3 after posting a shutout last week up in Lafayette against McCutcheon. The host Eagles carry a 6-2 record into tonight's game after losing at Brownsburg last week in a game which some fans called the Mud Bowl. Brownsburg clinched the Hoosier Crossroads Conference last week with that win and will once again host Zionsville next week in the first round of sectionals. And it's time to bring in my broadcast partner, Alex Masson. And Alex, I won't waste any time with you. With the playoffs only a week away and the conference title already decided, as well as the sectional schedule, is it going to be tough for these kids to focus on the task at hand tonight and finish this season out strong?
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. It's good to be here. It's a great night for football. Feels like fall. The leaves are orange, red, and brown. I think it's going to be a great night of football tonight. A lot to look forward to. These teams are very good teams, and coming into this game are very evenly matched. As you were alluding to, yes, I think it's going to be very tough to stay focused tonight and focus on your opponent tonight because everything's about next week. It's whether you can carry into next week and win that game and move on in the sectionals. This game has literally no meaning within the conference, and basically you're just playing this game because you have to end the season. But at the same time, it's important for these kids to understand that after having last week's Mud Bowl, they've really got to get out here and get some momentum and get some offensive production, coming off last week when it was hard to do that. Conditions next week look pretty decent. I don't think there's going to be any rain, and although Zionsville goes back to Brownsburg, they still have to worry about what the weather is going to be like. It plays a huge factor, and for certain teams in this conference, Brownsburg, Avon, Zionsville, they run the ball a lot and pass on play action based on how they're running the ball. So, weather is a huge deal, and hopefully, these teams can get some success moving the football and sustaining some drives tonight.
Yeah, speaking of the Mud Bowl, last week, Zionsville went to Brownsburg and played a game that was sopping wet. Brownsburg still has a grass field, and I understand traction was hard to come by, and the passing game was basically non-existent. I think for a Brownsburg team that is content playing defense and running the football, that maybe played into their hand a little bit better than a team like Zionsville that really needs that balance to show what they can do. I will say the one thing that is on the line tonight, I think Fishers and Zionsville are both tied for second place in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. So finishing as a runner-up is never a bad thing, and I'm sure Zionsville will be looking forward to that as well. It's not often that we get multiple Division I recruits in one game, but tonight Avon's going to bring 3 to Zionsville. The quarterback, Cole Johnson, sports offers from Eastern Illinois and Indiana State. The leading wide receiver, I should say, for Avon, Jalen Edwards, he's committed to Western Kentucky, also has an offer from Cincinnati and Eastern Illinois as well. And then there's the big-timer, Elijah Daniels, which we were talking about before the broadcast, before we went on. He's their all-everything defensive end. We'll see him stand up as a linebacker as well tonight. And he's committed to play for the Clemson Tigers, but he boasts offers, over a dozen offers from all over the country. Pretty much every corner of the country he has an offer from, and just about every BCS conference. So Elijah Daniels is going to be a big factor, and we're going to talk about him a lot tonight. As far as he goes and the pass rush threat that he creates, Zionsville, do you expect to see maybe more 3-step drops and quick hits tonight instead of dropping back and really giving him a chance to pin his ears back?
Absolutely, and Parker Dunshee for Zionsville is a very good play-action fake tonight, but I think Zionsville's coaches understand when they schemed this game that they're going to have to stick to the 80-90 pass protection with the quick drop, quick slants, basically throw away from Elijah Daniel, because not only is he able to get to the quarterback, he brings that threat where he can jump up and bat the ball down and even get an interception or two. So he's a very dangerous player on the outside coming around. They're going to have to double team him with a guard and tackle and even bring an extra tight end every once in a while. So, yes, I think it's going to be a big factor in how they choose to throw the football tonight. But, I expect both teams to try to establish the run early. And Avon coming in here with these 3 big recruits and quarterback and receiver, that's a dangerous tandem when both are going Division I schools. Obviously they can throw the ball around, and I expect them to do that as well.
Now, yes, they can throw the ball around, Alex, but I thought it was interesting when I was looking at our pregame notes. Cole Johnson on the year, 37 for 79, only 619 yards passing, 12 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Being a Division I recruit and having a guy like Jalen Edwards to throw the ball to, would you expect better numbers from him throughout the season?
Yeah, I absolutely would expect numbers to be much bigger than that, but at the same time, Avon is very much like Zionsville. No matter how good the quarterback and receiver crew is, they want to stick to their game plan. They want to maintain the fact that they can throw and move the ball in that manner, and then that they can run and then throw when they need to. It's part of the whole balance thing that we alluded to earlier. And also, Avon likes to bring in the second-string quarterback, Richie Steinmetz, number 8. He's thrown the ball 66 times this year, which is almost as many as Johnson, and he has 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and has 460 yards. So, it looks like they like to bring a couple quarterbacks in and mix up what's going on in their scheme.
Yeah, and conversely, on the Zionsville side, the leading passer, Parker Dunshee, the senior, it is senior night here tonight, so our broadcast will get started about 5 minutes later than usual. We took a moment to introduce all the seniors. The Zionsville stands are already pretty much full here on the home sideline. Avon still trickling in some fans across the way. And like Alex mentioned, a very much a fall day here tonight. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s, maybe even drop lower. And Alex, I was going to take a minute to touch on Parker Dunshee and his go-to guy, John Nomchef. Now, Nomchef is a guy, he's a 6'4 receiver. We've seen him dominate a lot of corners in the jump ball situation, a lot of undersized corners, 5'8", 5'9", here in high school football. And tonight, Avon comes in with a cornerback listed at 6'3". So I think that could possibly limit some of the deep threats. I mean, Parker's been known to, if he's got one-on-one coverage, just throw it up and let Nomchef go to work. I wonder if you think that'll pose a problem here for John tonight.
I'm not sure if it'll pose a problem per se. I think John does a very good job of using his body to shield the defender off and be able to come up and get a catch no matter how tall the defender is. But yes, I mean, it's obviously something to think about, especially from Parker Dunshee's viewpoint. He can't just loft the ball up and hope that Nomchef can come down with it as he usually does. He's got to be more careful and make crisp throws tonight, because this defensive Avon is very, very good, and they're very disciplined, and they're going to hit you in the mouth, and they're going to stop John Nomchef right at the line with the jam, even if they are in man coverage. So, I expect this to be a very physical game on outside and in.
Yeah, the head coaches tonight for Zionsville, Coach Larry McWhorter, and for Avon, Coach Mark Bless. So this is Mark Bless. I believe this is his 3rd year, and he will lead the Avon Orioles in tonight. Zionsville has already taken the field. They're on the sideline awaiting Avon Orioles. And Zionsville tonight will be in their all-home green, and we're seeing a lot of bright pink out here tonight, Alex, as it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and all the Zionsville players, we even have a couple pair of pink cleats, and the Under Armour's pink, wristbands are pink. It's a nice showing by the Eagles tonight, giving support for breast cancer.
Absolutely, and we want to inform everyone that tonight is the Zionsville Eagles' 2nd annual Losing is Not an Option Breast Cancer Awareness Night. The Eagles hope that this event makes more people aware of the disease that affects many women each year. The Eagles would like to thank the Susan G. Komen Foundation, St. Vincent's Hospital, Pam D'Agostino, and Bright Ideas for providing the bright neon pink sweatbands being worn tonight by both teams, coaches and cheerleaders, and the pink hats being worn by the Zionsville coaches. Big thanks also goes to the Avon Orioles for participating in tonight's event that was made possible by the work of ZCHS senior Jacob Fisher and the ZCHS athletic director Greg Chalais.
A round of applause to Jacob Fisher, a senior here at Zionsville, getting all that together. This broadcast tonight is going to be brought to you in part by Reynolds Body Shop. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcasts. They're conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their number's 317-243-2372. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com. And we're still awaiting Avon. And there they are taking the field. Avon in the all-white, black helmets. As I mentioned before, Zionsville will be in the all-green with their silver helmets. And we're going to have the captains come to midfield here in a minute. We didn't get a chance to see. They had already thrown the coin toss, I believe, Alex, before the game. The captains tonight for Zionsville: cornerback Josh Woodard, linebacker Scotty Pinola, quarterback Parker Dunshee, and tight end Carson Kennedy will come to midfield.
And, we expect whoever gets the ball first to be able to move the ball, and it'll be interesting to see. I didn't catch what the coin toss was or if they're doing it right now, but, Avon was a little bit fashionably late coming out of the locker rooms, and wanted to make sure they got their presence as they came in, and we're going to get right to football right here. Very excited.
Yeah, not often that the home team has to wait on the away team for a few minutes to come out. All right, so I believe Avon won the toss, and they're going to defer, so they will kick off tonight to Zionsville. The Eagles offense will start the game. And the referees even tonight sporting the pink wristbands. A nice showing by them.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and it's such an easy way to make money for certain foundations. It's just small apparel that mean a lot. You see pink, and you obviously know it's for breast cancer. It's a big thing in the month of October, and I think it's fantastic that these players, coaches, and family and friends here at Zionsville as well as Avon are confident enough to support that fact. And once again, hands off to Jacob Fisher at Zionsville of getting this together and keeping this going. Hopefully it's something a tradition that'll keep going here at Zionsville.
And the two deep men for Zionsville tonight is number 4, Colton Smith, and number 12, the cornerback, Tyler Glenn. Last broadcast I did at Fisher's, we saw Tyler Glenn take back a 45-yard touchdown, an interception for a touchdown. And we've seen him actually. Colton Smith's been back there throughout most of the year, but this will be Tyler Glenn's. I believe this will be one of his first or second game returning kicks here for Zionsville. And it's up and away, and it will be taken by Tyler Glenn at the 10-yard line as he looks for room to run, tries to find a seam, and he's brought down hard just outside of the 20-yard line. The Zionsville offense will set up at their own 22.
Fantastic job right there by number 45 on Avon's team. Looks like that's Brian Stinnett, the senior, 5'11", 185 linebacker. He came in there, crashed very hard, had a good line down the field, and was able to make a big hit there on Tyler Glenn. And we'll see what Zionsville comes out here to start doing.
And the first play tonight will be actually from Zionsville's own 23-yard line as they come out in a 3-wide receiver set. Avery Boxall in the slot. The 2 wideouts are Chris Mason and John Nomchef. Single running back is Cole Went as Stephen Wisniewski, the fullback, comes in motion. 3-step drop. The pass is quickly made and caught by Chris Mason. Good for about 13 yards and a Zionsville first down to start out the night.
Very good execution play right there. And, one thing I saw is Elijah Daniel on that right side jumped up and got his paws up there, almost deflected the ball. And that's something that Parker Dungy has to be careful, finding the right lanes to throw through. Don't try to throw over him. He's big, 6'4", 260-pound linebacker, and he's gonna come hard.
I formation this time for Zionsville as John Nomchef comes in motion down here to the bottom of your screen. The handoff is to the fullback Wisniewski, good for about 3 fights forward, maybe closer to 4 yards. I'll take a minute to introduce the starting offense for the Eagles. Left tackle is the senior Zane Breach. The guards are Eric Whiteholder and Austin Brewer. Thomas Mattingly is the center, and the other tackle is Jacob Avon. Tied in is senior Carson Kennedy. And the backfield tonight, Parker Dungy is your quarterback, Stephen Wisniewski at fullback, Cole Went, the junior, is tailback. 2 receivers we're going to see most of the night are Chris Mason and John Nomchef. We'll also get a dose of Avery Boxall, number 1. He'll play slot most of the night. And we're going back to that 3 wideout set for Zionsville. Another quick drop. The pass is fired to Avery Boxall, but sails high and out of bounds, incomplete.
Yeah, just a little bit of an overthrow there by Parker Dungy. There was good defensive end, the cornerbacks on the near side of the field did a very good job of shielding off the receivers and creating a little bit of a confusion on the line of where the receivers were trying to run. So very good job there. And I'll go through the defensive starters for Avon real quick. Left end, Chad Skaggs. Nose tackle, Isaiah Robinson. Right end, Mac Duffin. At cornerbacks, Devin Michael, Gabe Latskins. At safety, Matt Budisak and Dane Thomas. Linebackers, Elijah Daniel, TJ Wilson, Brian Stinnett, and Chad Piatek.
And Parker Dungy is in the shotgun this time. First third down of the night for Zionsville. A quick pass to the running back, Cole Went. He has some room as he turns the corner and following his blockers and is finally brought down, but not after about a 30-yard gain. Brought down by number 45 for Avon there. That's Brian Stinnett, the linebacker. And a very nice play there for Zionsville on their first third down of the night. Down towards the bottom of your screen, the home sideline, Cole Went, the tailback, took a pass and almost took it for a touchdown, Alex.
Yeah, he sure did. He had a lot of protection in front of him. Very good job by Stinnett by getting up there and making that game touchdown-saving tackle. But very nice play right there. Just a normal pass drop, and the tailback flared out to the right side and was able to find him, and very good gain right there.
And Parker Dungy will be under center as Wisniewski moves to the top of the field. The pitch is to Colton Smith as he tries to make a move and can't quite shake the Avon defender. A nice tackle there. Elijah Daniel, number 90, was in on the tackle. That'll only be a 1-yard gain for the Eagles.
Yeah, and it looked like he was going to have some running room on the outside, but a very good job by the linebacker of getting up there and making a solid tackle in the open field. And Elijah Daniel was there to clean up. I'm guessing we're going to say Elijah Daniel's name 25 times tonight at least.
Yeah, the over/under will be 25 tonight for you watching and listening at home.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over and conflict of interest and call it more than 25 times.
All right, Zionsville again with the single back. Well, Wisniewski actually moves in motion here, so 3-step drop for Parker. He looks for Nomchef, but once again sails long. Ball goes out of bounds, and Zionsville will have a 3rd and long here. It'll be 3rd and 9 Eagles from their own 25-yard line.
That was a very good coverage right there by number 21, Devin Michael, the senior cornerback, 5'8", 150. He's got his hands full with Nomchef out there being 6'4", 200 pounds. But a very good job. Pretty much was in his face the whole time and forced Dungy to throw that one a little bit long and wide.
Yeah, and if you missed the opening to our broadcast, we discussed the fact that John Nomchef gets a lot of jump balls, and we'll see what cornerback is on John most of the night. Avon has a corner listed at 6'3", so that should be a good matchup on the outside. And this 3rd and long play, another quick drop up top, and it sails long again. Parker Dungy, 3rd throw of the night that has sailed long. That one intended for Chris Mason down the sideline. And, Alex, those kind of plays, you got to give your receiver a chance on the jump ball situation.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no chance of the receiver catching the ball when it's thrown out of bounds. And as you alluded to, that is the second ball he sailed tonight, maybe the 3rd one he sailed. And I think it's more just nerves, senior night. He's just got to calm down and make those throws he's pretty much made all year long. He's done a good job taking care of the ball, has quite a few touchdowns, and you just got to calm down and make some throws here.
Zionsville just outside of field goal range that they're comfortable with, so they're going to go ahead and go for it deep in Avon territory. It is 4th and long, so we'll see a passing play here, no doubt, for the Eagles. 5-step drop. Dungy looks up. He's got some room, and he gets right to the sticks, Alex. They might need a measurement there.
That was a very good job by Parker to step up in the pocket and have some confidence in his running game to take that up there. And it looks like he's going to be very close to the first down if he didn't get it.
And we talked about that with the Zionsville pass rush. And, yeah, they're not even going to take time to measure it. He's going to be just short of the first down. A nice effort there for Parker. I think he got maybe a little worse of a spot than we saw from up here in the press box. But nonetheless, Avon's offense will take over. And nice stop there by the Avon defense on the opening drive of this game.
And, Aaron, what do you think about that decision to go for it on 4th down right there?
From what we've seen this year out of the kicking unit for Zionsville, I have no problem with it. I mean, we've seen missed extra points, and we've seen a lot of field goals foregone, so you're not going to gain much yardage by punting the ball. I like the call there. And Avon passes 1st down, and it's high. It was intended for number 87, Sam Bloom, the tight end. And a nice play there by I believe, Sam Bloom, just to go up and make an effort for that ball. It was high, thrown by quarterback Cole Johnson.
And it was a very good defensive play right there. It looks like that was number 41, Jackson Schaefer. Had a lot of interceptions this year, and Avon's got some big targets at tight end. Both their tight ends are 6'4", so this quarterback's got some big targets himself.
Avon comes back in the I formation. Cole Johnson hands the ball off, and it is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Nice play by the Zionsville defense. In on that tackle, it looks like that was number 40, Noah Rogers. And I should take a minute while we have some time and introduce the Avon starting offense to you. Ryan Willis and Zach Ryan, the tackles. Zach Kaufman and Jake Higginbottom are the guards, and Chase Alexander, all 6'3", 300 of them, is the center. Cole Johnson, the quarterback. We're going to see Derek Tennant and Cody Baker at running back. Receiver Jalen Edwards, tight end Sam Bloom. The other receiver is Nolan Wool. This time shotgun for Avon as it's 3rd and 10 in their own territory. Blitz coming for Zionsville, and he's going to be brought down, and the sack will be credited to That might be Carter Spear, Alex.
Yeah, it looks like number 5, Carter Spear, was in there on the, looks like the outside linebacker. They called a blitz there. I think both outside linebackers win, and a very good job on the outsides and man coverage to cover up those receivers, and Avon's going to be forced to punt deep in their own territory.
So we wind up with 2 scoreless drives to open the game as the clock ticks down to 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. And the Avon punter is going to be deep in his own end zone. And, Alex, we've seen some pressure brought on by Zionsville in these situations this year. But the ball will be away, and Tyler Glenn is going to return the punt, looking for some running room. Doesn't get much, but Zionsville will take over with great field position inside the Avon 45.
And that's a big key for tonight for Zionsville, is keeping the ball in Avon's territory and keeping them backed up against their own end zone, making them feel like they have to make big plays and force them to throw the ball. Zionsville, a very good job getting Avon to go 3 and out. And Zionsville did have some success on their first drive, being able to throw the ball, and not so much running it, but being able to throw the ball. So we'll see what they can do here.
I formation here for Zionsville. Cole Wentz, the tailback, Wisniewski lined up right in front of him. Parker Dunchie looks and makes a check to John Nomchef. And the handoff will be to Cole Wentz. He's got a lot of running room. Good for a 13-yard carry and a first down to the Avon 30. Alex, early on here, Zionsville, they obviously turned the ball over on downs, but a couple nice-looking plays here in a row for the first 2 series.
Yeah, pretty much just giving the ball to the workhorse, Cole Wentz. He's able to get some positive yards there. Very good job by the front line of Zionsville, Eric Whiteholter and Thomas Mattingly and Austin Brewer, the guards and centers, to open up that hole for him. And, a very quick 14-yard gain for Zionsville, and they're moving the ball.
Yeah, Cole Wentz this year has 125 carries for 634 yards, averaging just over 5 yards a carry. This time he gets the ball again, and he'll be stopped for a short gain of about 2 yards. I should mention, out of 125 carries this year, Cole Wentz only has 1 touchdown, and Parker Dunchie's kind of been a vulture down there inside the 5, taking 5 touchdowns from him. So
yeah, he sure has, but at the same time, I've counted probably 5 or 6 times where Cole Wentz has gotten tackled right at the 1-yard line. So, just barely couldn't get in. It looks like at the end of the play there was a personal foul late hit by Avon. So that's going to move the ball an additional 15 yards, I believe.
And that's a big penalty. Those 15-yarders, we've talked about that a few times this year, how much, the field position can change with just one 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end of a run.
Yeah, especially after you stop them on about a 1-yard gain, forcing the second and long. And, we've talked about all year how important it is for all these high school teams to keep second and third down manageable to where they can, go into their playbook and dial up whatever they really want to have, continuous plays and successful gains.
So now Zionsville will have the ball at the Avon 14 as Dunchie makes another check to his receivers. Parker under center here. He takes the snap. The handoff is to the fullback, Wisniewski, as he runs over an Avon defender. Good for about a 6-yard gain. The tackle there for Avon, he hung on for dear life. It was number 88, Matt Batustak. He's a senior, listed at 5'10", 170.
Yeah, and Steven Wisniewski's been doing that all year. He doesn't like to try to go around. He's not a very lateral runner. He's very north-south and just pretty much puts his shoulders and head down, and he was able to get an extra 3 yards by doing so. So Zionsville, as we alluded to, second and manageable right here, being 2nd and 4.
And you got to think Larry McWhorter wants that out of his fullback, a north-south runner, kind of a ground and pound type of running back. The handoff now to Cole Wentz. There was a small crease there, but quickly closed up for him and probably just got back to the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd down upcoming for Zionsville.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I'm seeing Zionsville do right now, because they know Elijah Daniels is going to go so hard across the line of scrimmage, as they're kind of making these delayed handoffs to where Elijah Daniels already up the field, and it opens up a hole between the nose tackle and the defensive end, and Zionsville's had some success running the ball through those gaps so far.
Zionsville's going to really benefit themselves tonight, right, Alex? If they can keep themselves out of obvious passing situations, that's going to help keep Elijah Daniels honest.
Absolutely, yeah.
I formation this time for the Eagles, 3rd and 3. The quick pass is up and complete to John Nomchef, and that'll be his first touchdown of the night. John Nomchef, a 8-yard pass from Parker Dunchie, on the away side pylon, and a very nice throw there after throwing a few passes. They sailed on him really out of bounds. That's a nice way to come back for Parker. That's a tough ball.
Yeah, it sure is. And Parker Dunshee signaled to John Nomchef to run that fade. He saw that the corner was in man coverage, dogging him on the inside. And, John Nomchef's so dangerous. If he gets that release off the cornerback, it's basically you're chasing after him to try to catch him and not let him catch the football. And he was able to do that successfully. So a very nice drive by Zionsville once they got the ball in Avon's territory.
And we're going to see Parker Dunshee go ahead and kick the point after here. And we talked about Zionsville's kicking problems, and they're going to trust Parker for the rest of the way, and it's good. So first score of the night comes from the Eagles. It's 7-0 Zionsville with 5.5 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. Should take a minute to let you know that Avon McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon, Brownsburg, and Danville athletics and is the home of the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, heard every Saturday morning on XRB Radio, 1610 a.m. Be sure to join us beginning August 25th from 8 to 9 a.m. for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show with interviews of local coaches and student athletes. The show will be airing October 13th at the Avon McDonald's 267. Featured guests are Avon football coach Mark Bless and Danville football coach Russ Sumner. And coming back here, we're going to see Zionsville's first kickoff of the night after that score, Alex, and a quick 3-and-out by the Eagles to on Avon's opening offensive drive, and it was capped off by that sack from Carter Spear.
Yeah, a big play by Carter Spear on that third down, and Avon was in that 3rd and 9, and Zionsville decided to develop a blitz right there with the outside linebackers, and very good job in Carter to get to the quarterback and get his, I think, probably his first sack this year. Mm-hmm. And, Zionsville very successful moving the ball. They used a nice combination of run and pass, and they were able to find John Nomchef on a goal line fade right there against a smaller corner.
And Nomchef's really been a touchdown past few Brownsburg, but the game before that he had 4 scores at Fishers.
And yeah, absolutely. I think that was his 11th touchdown this year. And just as a side note, I think Parker Dunshee's only thrown, looks like 16 touchdowns this year, which is pretty good. That's a pretty good stat to have 16 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, and I can count 3 of the 6 interceptions or 7 interceptions were off tip balls or batted balls. So he does a pretty good job taking care of the ball and knows how to find John Nomchef, especially down in the red zone.
I think that's a good point because the stat line really isn't too telling of the kind of season he's had. There's a lot of those balls have been tipped up in the air and picked off, some have been his fault, but he's going to get the blame for all of them on the stat sheet. So the kickoff is taken inside the 5. It's a reverse as there's some room to run, and he's off to the races down the sideline. One man left to beat, trips up and cuts inside.
And he's gone.
That'll be a touchdown, Avon. So a little trickery on their first kick return of the night as the reverse pays off, and I'm not able to make out. That was number 21 for Avon. That was Devin McKell. He took off down the Avon sideline after getting that reverse and had nothing but a wall of blockers in front of him, Alex, and a very nice response if you're an Avon Orioles fan.
Absolutely, and that'll get your team's momentum up real quickly. That was a fantastic little reverse play they did. I think they might have gotten away with a block in the back on one of the blockers coming back, but nevertheless, there's no flag called, and Avon's going to respond really quickly, as you alluded to, from the Zionsville touchdown. And, it's a good momentum builder to bring a kickback, but at the same time, your defense just got off the field after a pretty decent drive, and they have to go right back out there. So we'll see how they can respond in that way.
The extra point is good. So Avon ties this ball game with 5 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's 7-7 here at Zionsville. We'd like to thank our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. ABC Roofing is also a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcasts and your local source for roofing, siding, gutters, insulation, and more. ABC Roofing has been serving Indy now for 38 years. They have received the Angie's List Super Service Award for an unprecedented 13 consecutive years. They are the area's Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Roofing Contractor, only one of 3 in the entire state of Indiana. They also offer a lifetime workmanship guarantee backed 100% by Owens Corning. ABC Roofing is located at 8499 East U.S. Highway 36, Avon. Call them today at 228-9882 or check them out on the web at www.abcrfg.com. The second kick return tonight, awaiting Zionsville. Tyler Glenn will once again take it inside his 10, and he bounces off. I believe that was his own blocker, and the ball comes out. There's a fumble on the play as they try to unravel the pile and see who came up with that one. There's a lot of celebrating on the Avon sideline. We're still waiting on a ruling here.
Looks like Zionsville did, in fact, get the fumble back, so a very good job. I didn't see who fell on it, but Tyler Glenn coughed the ball up, and one of the Zionsville returnmen was able to get on that ball, so that's a big save right there.
Yeah, you talk about a momentum shift, let alone the kickoff return for a touchdown right there on the reverse, but you get the ball back there deep in Zionsville territory where we're talking a little bit of trouble for the Eagles.
Yeah, and those are killers. You know, the special teams turnovers are the ones that you really just cannot have.
Zionsville's offense now comes out in the I formation, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Parker Dunchie hands it off to Cole Went, and he gets about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. A nice play there by the defensive line for Avon.
Looks like number 45 for Avon was in on that tackle, the linebacker, Brian Stinnett. We've called his name a few times. He just seems to have a good nose for the ball. He's a senior, and he gets in a lot of tackles and makes good plays.
Yeah, Isaiah Robinson, the nose tackle there. He's 5'9", 270. He's going to be tough to move in the middle, but the Zionsville offensive line is going to have to find a way to do it tonight if they want to run the ball successfully. And it was called a 2-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd and 8. This time play action for Parker Dunchie. He throws deep to John Nomchef, and he's got him.
What a catch.
And Nomchef cuts in, and that'll be good for about a 50-yard gain thereabouts, maybe about a 47, but nonetheless a nice throw and catch there from Dunchie to Nomchef, and Zionsville quickly moves the ball into Avon territory at the Avon 32.
And that was an absolutely perfect throw by Parker Dunchie. Put him right in stride, and a very good catch by John Nomchef. Kind of had to look over his head and grab it right over his shoulder, and didn't have too much of a step on the cornerback, but a very, very, very nice throw and catch.
And we expected to see that a lot tonight. Senior night, the two seniors hook up again for a big play. Earlier it was the touchdown early in the first quarter. Steven Wisniewski, the fullback, moves in motion, and this pass tipped up in the air and pretty dangerous. The ball fell perfectly in between 3 Avon defenders and falls to the ground, so it'll be incomplete, but you actually mentioned that earlier. A few of his interceptions this year have been off of tip balls.
And guess who tipped that ball down?
Elijah Daniel or the field?
It was Elijah Daniel. He's so tall, and he just has such a large presence out there, whether he's going after the quarterback or just staying there, jumping up, batting the ball down. Very nice job. Nomchef was pretty much wide open on a slant route, so if he didn't knock that down, it was going to be a pretty big gain.
So 2nd and 10 Zionsville here at the Oriole 32. And it'll be a play action, and it's a quick pass to the tight end, Carson Kennedy, and he gets... They might be about, 3 or 4 yards short of a first down?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to mark it right at about the 22-yard line.
Oh, no, he's going to be about 1 yard short, so a better gain than I thought as the pass was complete to Carson Kennedy, and he was pushed out down here along the Zionsville sideline just short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and about a half a yard here for the Eagles.
Yes, and I think regardless of whether they get the first down on this play, they're definitely going to try to go for it on 4th down, being around the 22-yard line with 1 yard to go.
Well, and we saw them do that earlier on 4th and 9. And the pitch play here to Cole Went, he's got some room and tries to break an arm tackle. He gets about 6 or 7 on the play, and that'll be a Zionsville first down right at the Avon 15-yard line.
And Steven Wisniewski comes off the field. Looks like his helmet got knocked off. Very, very good job kicking out Elijah Daniel right there. And then they got in a little skirmish with the hands, and Elijah Daniel, one big sweep to the head of Wisniewski, and the helmet popped off. So kind of shows how tough he is down there in the trenches. But a very good job by Wisniewski to stay in front of him and let Cole Went run right behind him pretty much.
Under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter now. 7-7 ball game. Zionsville with the ball deep in Avon territory. This handoff is made to number 35. I believe that's Scotty Pinola's younger brother. Yes, it is. It's the sophomore, Matt Pinola, 6 foot, 200-pound fullback. You'll see him check in just to give Stephen Wisniewski a spell every now and then.
Absolutely. Looks like the indication of a penalty here is holding against Zionsville. Not sure who it was, but yeah, he's gotten a lot of good runs this year, the young Pinola, and expect to see him do some good things here in the next few years. He's a big kid, 6 foot, 200 pounds already. I mean, that's a big kid for a sophomore.
His older brother, Scotty Pinola, the leader of the Zionsville defense, he's going to graduate. He's a senior this year. Actually, Scotty Pinola is checked in the ball game right now. We've seen him play tailback a time or two, and especially on short yardage situations, Zionsville's not afraid to throw Scott Pinola in there and give him the ball.
Yeah, and why not? He's such a big kid. It's hard to bring him down. You really got to wrap him up. And a lot of times in high school, kids go for the arm tackles, and I promise you, Pinola's going to run right through those.
So Parker Dunshee will be in the shotgun with Scotty Pinola right behind him. Pinola blocking. The pass is complete. And that, I'm trying to make out who that was. Yeah, that was John Nomchef once again, Alex. That's about a 12 or 13-yard completion. And that'll get him back to the original line of scrimmage and then some. So it'll be second and about 9 yards to go at the Avon 14. Zionsville can still get a first down here.
And you kind of see why they brought Scott Pinola in right there, because if they know they're going to roll out to the side that Elijah Daniel's on, why not bring your biggest guy in there to try to block him? It's not a bad call, especially from the running back position.
And Pinola will remain in the ball game. Now he's the single back. We have two tight ends in for Zionsville. And it's a quick pass to Nomchef, and it's overthrown by Parker Dunshee into the end zone.
And that's got to be a penalty. The defender had no idea where the ball was and had his hands all over his chest. I'm surprised they didn't get that call right there. But nevertheless, the ball's a little bit overthrown, and Nomchef couldn't come up with it.
You think that's a situation where maybe the referee didn't think it had a chance at being completed? It was over him by a few yards. I know the fans here at Zionsville were not happy with the call.
It was over him, but at the same time, if the defender doesn't have his hands all over him, he can get 3 steps really quickly and catch that ball. So I don't think it was uncatchable because the ball wasn't out of bounds. It's almost one of those situations with John Nomchef out there. Pretty much any ball that's around him is catchable.
It's 3rd and 8 now, so Zionsville looking to extend this drive and put it in the end zone. They're going to hand it off to Wisniewski on a little trap play, and he'll get about 4 yards or so, but it's going to be 4th down, and Zionsville close enough this time to where they're going to settle for the field goal, and I believe they're just going to probably let Parker Dunshee kick this one, Alex. And they, for those of you that haven't seen many Zionsville games this year, Parker Dunshee, the quarterback, also serves as the punter, and we've seen him do kickoff this year for Zionsville, and it looks like he's just going to handle all the duties now. Not a bad idea moving into the playoffs. Avery Boxell is the holder, and this attempt is up, and it's no good. Looked like it was wide right there, so Avon gets another break as they bend deep into their own territory, but don't quite break. Zionsville, that's the second time tonight they'll come away with 0 points after marching the ball inside the Avon 20.
Yeah, and that was a very good job by Avon's defense to hold them there. Getting that holding penalty really hurt Zionsville, made them go 1st and 20, even though they were able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. But yeah, those penalties are very costly when you have to back up and start knowing that they're going to throw the football.
And there's a timeout on the field. Take this time to let you know that Sullivan's Tire Plus in Danville is a proud supporter of the Avon Orioles broadcast and wants to remind you that in order to receive a complete oil change for $18.99, all you have to do is like them on Facebook. They are located at 8397 East US 36 in Avon. You can call them for all your automotive needs and questions at 317-272-5050, Monday through Saturday. Sullivan's Tire Plus, voted the best in Hendricks County for 3 years in a row. And also tonight, Hendricks Regional Health. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. They care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org.
And we are back in Zionsville. Scores 7-7 with 1:50 left in the first quarter. Avon's taking over at looks like their own 20-yard line. And, so far in this game, we've seen a good mix of passing and running from both sides. Avon was able to run a kick back for a touchdown, and Zionsville was able to connect on about a 10-yard throw from Dunshee to Namchef for a touchdown. So it's been a very even game so far. And, although Zionsville's been able to move the ball a little bit more effectively than Avon so far.
Avon takes over at their own 20, as Alex mentioned. They're going to come out in the I formation here. And the quarterback, Cole Johnson, is under center. He fakes the reverse, and he'll roll out to his right. Panola is pursuing him, and he runs into his own blockers and then gets pushed back. A nice job there by Noah Rogers and also Scott Panola for containing him on the play and not letting him get outside.
And Noah Rogers has been in a lot of plays this year, a lot of times. When the quarterback gets outside of the tackle box, Noah Rogers does a very good job of chasing the quarterback down, and right there, the quarterback really had nowhere to go and nowhere to throw the football, and Noah Rogers was there to clean up the sack right there. So very good job.
2nd and long for the Orioles. It'll be 2nd and 9 now after that 1-yard gain there by Cole Johnson on the scramble. I formation once again for Avon as Panola shows blitz. The handoff to the left side is going nowhere, and it's stuffed. He might actually lost a yard on that play and gone back to the original line of scrimmage. While we have a chance here, we had the 3-and-out for Avon and then a kick return for a touchdown. We haven't had a chance to introduce the Zionsville starting defense. The defensive ends are Jake Romanek and Daniel McCullough. Noah Rogers and Connor Dahl will play inside on the line. Tyler Glenn and Joshua Woodard are your cornerbacks. Jackson Schaefer and Ben Kocher are the safeties, and we'll also see Ryan Connor back there as well. Jimmy Morrison, Scott Panola, as we've mentioned, and Carter Spear are your starting linebackers for the Eagles.
It looks like there's some discussion going on from the referees to each team. I'm not sure what is going on here, but it looks like it's going to be 3rd and 9 for Avon, and so far their offense just hasn't really gotten a chance to click. They've had a couple overthrows and a couple sacks, so credit Zionsville's defense for hanging in there tough, and we're going to see if Avon can get their first down tonight.
Yeah, Avon wasn't able to get a first down on the first series, and that kickoff return gave them their only touchdown here in the first quarter. Another blitz being shown by Zionsville. It's a quick sweep play and able to get about 3 or 4 yards, but a nice job there of Zionsville, the whole team pursuing the ball. Ben Kocher was able to be in on the tackle along with a whole host of Eagles there along the Zionsville sideline, and Avon will be forced to punt. Again, as this first quarter comes to an end, the score is 7-7, and it's been a little bit of a back-and-forth quarter, Alex, so far as Zionsville failed to score twice inside the Avon 20, but was able to put one in the end zone from Dunshee to Namchef.
Yeah, and that goes a lot of times. That's how these high school football games go. The score isn't a very good indication on how this game has gone so far. Avon ran a touchdown on a kickoff back, and that's been their only score, and they haven't even gotten a first down yet. Zionsville's been able to move the ball, has gotten the ball in Avon's territory twice out of the 3 drives that they've had, and it's just stalled inside the red zone every single time except for the touchdown they had. So, they're having some success moving the ball, and Avon's credit them for, as you alluded to earlier, bending but not breaking down in their own red zone.
Yeah, I agree. It should be an interesting second half when we're going to start our second quarter. We're going to start the second quarter off with a punt from Avon. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcasts. They're conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone number is 317-243-2372. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com. Tyler Glenn. No, actually, is this John Namchef that'll be back this time to return the punt? We haven't seen him as much returning punts this year, but last year we watched John take a couple all the way back to the end zone, so always a dangerous person to punt the ball to. And do you think Zionsville has just gone away from that this year because of how much they rely on him for offensive production?
Yeah, perhaps. He's their big playmaker, and you have to protect that playmaker in most situations. And as he catches a fair catch here, very good punt by Avon to push Zionsville back into their own territory to start for once. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that Zionsville understands that although John Nomchef is a dangerous return man, there's no sense of risking him getting him hurt because a lot of injuries from big players come on, kickoff returns, kickoffs, punts. There's no reason for him to be playing out there anyways if you have someone else who can do the job just as well.
Zionsville's offense this time will look to move the ball down the field and actually capitalize, as they only scored on 1 out of 3 possessions there in the first quarter. This time Parker rolls out to his right after a play action. He looks and fires, and it's dropped. The pass was intended for number 44, the fullback Steven Wisniewski, and fell incomplete, so it'll be 2nd and 10 Zionsville.
Yeah, and it was just a little bit behind him. Looks like Dunshee tried to shot put the ball out there a little bit after he was scrambling. And, I like that play call, though, on 1st and 10 to try to do a little boot action right there. And, Avon did a good job in not letting that pass go through. So, once again, Zionsville stuck on a 2nd and 10, and that's not what they want to get themselves into.
I formation this time for the Eagles. John Nomchef down here towards the Eagles sideline, and the handoff is to Cole Went up the middle, breaking tackles and a lot of room to run as he's rumbling and is finally brought down. Cole Went, not known for his breakaway speed, as he gets about a 40-yard gain on the play, and you always notice that he carries that ball so high, both hands on the ball. Hasn't fumbled yet this year, I don't believe, Alex.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder when he runs his 40-yard dash, testing for his time, if he holds his arm really high like he's running with a football, because I just think he's so used to doing that. And as you alluded to, when he gets out in the open space, he still keeps that ball high and protects the football. So, the coaches have got to love that, even though he wasn't able to break for a complete touchdown. But a very nice run and a good job up front by Zionsville.
As we mentioned before, over 600 yards on the season, only 1 touchdown. So if he's not getting a goal line carry, most likely he's not getting in the end zone. As Dunshee sprints to his right and fires, and the ball is caught by Chris Mason, and he's finally pushed out of bounds. A very nice job there by Chris Mason of breaking that tackle after the catch and then trying to turn his body upfield and get positive yards. And a nice play there for the Eagles as they are now looking at 1st and goal from the Avon 5-yard line.
And I cannot say how good of a job that was by Parker Dunshee right there. When he rolled out to the right, Elijah Daniel was one-on-one with him, and all he did was just basically act like he was going to throw the football and knew that Elijah Daniel was going to try to jump up and bat that down, and it was a good fake, and he was able to get outside of him and make that throw and catch. So very good job.
I formation here for Zionsville. Scott Panola has checked in the game at tailback. He gets the pitch and barrels forward down to about the 1-yard line. And Zionsville will have 2nd and goal, I believe, at the 1 or 2-yard line. So not far to go here for the Eagles as they look to take the lead here in the second quarter at home.
As Cole Went sits on the sideline and watches someone else take the ball in for a touchdown, it's got to be painful to see that. But
yeah,
he's the workhorse. He's the guy who has 130 yards every game and averages 7 yards a carry this year. So
yeah, and a good teammate at that.
Absolutely,
and very well coached. Hasn't put the ball on the ground, at least that we've seen this year in the games we've done of Zionsville. This time the fullback gets the carry. That's Steven Wisniewski in there for a touchdown. Zionsville takes the lead 13-7. And we'll see an extra point try here for the quarterback, Parker Dunshee. And a nice drive there, Alex. And Zionsville's done a nice job tonight of springing big plays to just completely change the field position. One long pass earlier to John Nomchef, and then the big run there by Cole Went sets them up nicely deep in Avon territory.
Absolutely, and that was about a 6-play, 60-yard drive right there for Zionsville, and that's kind of more their style. The longer and more sustained their drives are, the more effective they are, it seems like. And it's been like that historically as well. The 13-play, 80-yard drives are something that, Zionsville fans and families have become very much accustomed to.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for them to go on a long drive and try to wear down the defense throughout the course of a game.
And that's what makes them so effective as well. Their defense is very good for the most part, and they do a good job forcing turnovers. So as soon as the defense is off the field, they have to come right back on if there's a turnover or 3 and out and And so far, it's been the case. Avon's had 2 3-and-outs, and although the score is 14-7, they just really haven't been able to move the ball yet.
Yeah, Avon really in a position where they're kind of lucky to only be down 1 score. Zionsville failed to put the ball in the end zone twice deep in their territory, and Avon has not moved the ball at all on offense outside of the reverse kick return that went for a touchdown. And it'll be interesting to see how on guard the Zionsville kickoff unit is this time. And I could see Avon maybe faking that handoff, faking that reverse or something on this play.
Absolutely. And, it's always funny, situational times when you think it'd be a good time for an onside kick, and you have to think that this is one of those times. After your kickoff return team scored a touchdown, you think, oh, we'll just get back there and set up another wall, and we're going to take one back. And, obviously it's not the case here, but you never know when that's going to happen.
Well, this time Parker just does the job and puts it all the way back into the end zone. Here in high school football, you can't take it out of the end zone, so that's an automatic touchback. And Avon will take over from their own 20.
Which I'm very surprised that they haven't changed that rule in high school football yet. A lot of the kickers can't kick it all the way into the end zone, so it's interesting why they don't allow that to happen. They do it in college now to where you can return it from wherever you are, and they've even moved the kicker up to the 35-yard line in college, and here in high school it's at the 40. So, we'll see if they change that rule here anytime.
And Avon's offense will get their third try of the night. Both the first 2 series, they went 3-and-out and were forced to punt. And Avon desperately needs to get something going because you got to think the Zionsville offense is going to really click full cylinder here in a little while. As this time, there will be a timeout actually before the Avon series, so we're going to take a minute to pay the bills here. Avon McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon, Brownsburg, and Danville athletics, and is the home of McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, heard every Saturday morning on XRB Radio, 1610 a.m. Be sure to join us beginning August 25th from 8 to 9 a.m. for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show with interviews of local coaches and student athletes. The show will be airing October 13th at the Avon McDonald's 267. Featured guests are Avon football coach Mark Bless and Danville football coach Russ Sumner.
And once again, we want to inform everyone that tonight is the Zionsville Eagles' second annual Losing is Not an Option Breast Cancer Awareness Night. The Eagles hope that this event makes more people aware of the disease that affects many women each year. The Eagles would like to thank the Susan G. Komen Foundation, St. Vincent's Hospital, Pam D'Agostino, and Bright Ideas for providing the pink neon sweatbands worn tonight by both teams, coaches, and cheerleaders.
Great job, Alex. And Avon will run their first play this series, and it is stuffed. And actually, I thought the ball might have come out there, but I don't think so. Yeah, I think it was a center quarterback fumble on the exchange, and Avon able to cover it up, but that'll be a loss of a yard on first down. And Avon has not had an opportunity to get much positive yards on first down to even give themselves, a balanced situation on second and third. They've been in third and long passing situations both their opening drives.
Yeah, they sure have.
And this time it'll be a pass. It goes and it's complete. No, a nice hit. Springs the football loose. And Joshua Woodard wrapped him up. And number 15 for Zionsville. Is that Ben Kocher with the hit?
Sure was, yeah.
And the hit jars the ball loose. So Avon still has not been able to obtain a first down. And again, for the third time, we're going to look at a third and long for the Orioles. Yeah. As we were told up here in the press box, officially Avon has not recorded a yard yet.
Which is just crazy. But, right there was a good example of the quarterback for Avon, Johnson's arm strength. That was a very good throw, and, just a better play by Zionsville's defense to jar that one out of there.
Trips here to the bottom of the field, shotgun for the Orioles, and a quick pass to the running back and a nice move, but only gets about 4 or 5 on the play. Was going to be brought down for a loss, but Scott Panola sort of over-pursued there, and the pass from Cole Johnson was complete to number 25, Derek Tennant. And I'm not sure, we didn't get an injury report before the game, Alex, but have you seen Cody Baker in the game much for Avon, number 6?
I sure haven't. No,
I think we're seeing mostly Tennant tonight, and he's listed as the backup running back on the depth charts we've got from Avon earlier this week. And if we hear anything up here in the press box, we'll try to get more to you.
And I think we've also seen number 21 play some running back. It's Devin Mickle, the senior defensive back, who actually returned the kick. So really great kick right here, though.
John Nomchef is going to look to return it. He can't find much room, and he's brought down a big hit there on the play by number 26, the linebacker Scott Panola. And the Eagles will take over at their own 42. So Zionsville's had great field position for the most part tonight.
Yeah, they sure have, and that's one of those plays where you did have a wall right here, and after the first contact, if you're John Nomchef, you kind of just want to get down and don't risk yourself getting hurt or even fumbling the football. So Zionsville will, in fact, take over on the 42. Score is 14-7, Zionsville with 8:47 left to go in the first half.
Chris Mason, who had the big catch on the last drive, is here to the bottom of the field. Up top near the Avon sideline sits John Nomchef. Zionsville comes out in the I formation. Parker Dunshee takes the snap. The handoff is to Steven Wisniewski, and he's blasted at the line of scrimmage. And it's still going to be 2nd and 10 as he just gets back to the original line of scrimmage and stopped. Nice play there.
Yeah, it was a nice play by number 45, Brian Stinnett. We've said his name numerous times today. Very good linebacker. He's always right there in the hole, and a very good job. Great tackle.
And most of the pass plays tonight, I think all 3 pass attempts that we've seen, maybe 4, from Cole Johnson were to Sam Bloom, the tight end. So we need to look out for more of that, as that might be his go-to guy. But Jalen Edwards, the receiver that everybody's been talking about, hasn't recorded a catch yet tonight. And this time the handoff to Cole Went for Zionsville as he looked to break it, but a nice tackle there. Good job hanging on. And that was number 49 on the play, the defensive end for Avon. And that is Mac Duffin. And Mac Duffin is Drew Duffin's younger brother, I believe. Drew Duffin actually played against us, Alex, when he played for Avon. He actually went on to have a nice career at Ball State.
Sure did.
I have some notes here, actually. He started all 4 years, or he started 2 years. He started junior and senior year, played all 4, actually team MVP.
Fantastic. Division I that's really on their way up. Ball State has had some good wins this year.
Yeah, big win over South Florida a couple weeks ago. And a nice throw and catch there to Avery Boxell. A nice throw, a better catch there by Boxell, as that's good for a Zionsville first down.
Yeah, and Avery Boxell is not the tallest kid, but you saw right there he was able to get up and catch the ball at its highest point. So a very good job catching the football and shielding defender from being able to make a play right there.
Yeah, it seems like every week when we're off the air, we talk about Avery Boxell and the routes he runs. I think it's time to give him some due credit. We always talk here in the press box about the sharp routes that Avery Boxell runs, and he's sure-handed, gets the ball straight up field as soon as he catches it, and we really like watching him play. I formation for Zionsville, now in Avon territory. And the carry is to Scott Panola, the linebacker, as he just bowls over people, and that's good for a 16-yard gain inside the Avon 30. And if he had the stamina, or if you had the wherewithal to play both ways all game, wouldn't you like to have Scott Panola just play the whole time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing that he possesses is the fact that he gets 5 or 6 yards after contact almost every single time. It takes more than one guy to bring him down, no matter who you are, and he's just a strong runner. He's a very good defender, and they definitely like him playing linebacker because he makes so many plays and is such a positive force in the defense. But yeah, if you can get him on offense, that's just such a bonus.
And the single back this time, Cole Went, as he picks up the blitz nicely, and the pass is complete to John Nomchef. And Nomchef gets down to the Avon 15. A very nice job there by Cole Went, the tailback, as he picked up the blitz on Parker Dunshee's backside, and that could have been disastrous had Cole Went not picked up that block.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that number 21, the defensive back, cornerback, Devin Michaels, he's there almost every time to make a play. It's just Zionsville's receivers are making fantastic catches and keeping the ball away from him. He almost hawked that ball down and was right there. It's a very good throw and catch.
Zionsville's offense looking pretty sharp tonight thus far. 1st and 10 Eagles. Cole Went, the tailback. He'll get the carry up the middle, and he's still driving forward, so actually winds up getting about 3 or 4 yards on the play as it looked like he was going to be stopped there at the line of scrimmage. A nice job up front by the Eagles' offensive line to continue to push and chop those feet.
Yeah, absolutely. A very good job. Zionsville's offense has done a very good job at controlling the line of scrimmage. It's one thing that Zionsville's been successful at all year is really being able to impose their will and opening those holes up for Cole Winn. It's a big reason why he's averaging 6 to 7 yards per carry.
And the referees blow the whistle here. We may have a timeout, or they might actually just have to respot the ball. Zionsville will huddle up once again. Under 6 minutes to go here in the first half at Zionsville. The Eagles lead Avon 14-7.
And Zionsville once again is driving. Even when they get the ball in their own territory, it just takes 2 or 3 big plays that they've been doing all night, and they're right there in scoring position.
2nd and 6 yards to go, Eagles. The pitch is to Cole Winn. He's got some running room, and a nice carry as he gets to, and I think past the first down marker. So it looks to me from up here, from our vantage point, it looks like that'll be a first down, Zionsville. And yeah, it'll be 1st and goal from the Avon 5. Zionsville threatening once again, trying to make this a 2-possession game.
Yeah, and you just have to love how Cole Winn is able to hit the hole. He really, as soon as he gets the ball, he's looking exactly where he needs to go and just is full steam ahead. He's not one of those running backs who tries to just tiptoe and wait for a hole to open up. He just knows where he's supposed to go, and he goes hard, and he's smart enough and has good enough vision to be able to cut the ball back as well.
And I think that's why Coach McWhorter likes him. I think that's why Zionsville's starting running back. I think every year Coach Mack looks for a guy who will hit the hole hard and run north and south. As Parker Dunshee sees something he doesn't like and quickly calls a timeout there.
Yeah, it was a very wise timeout because the play clock was down to about 1 second, and he quickly turned around and took a timeout instead of getting backed up 5 yards. So very good, use of your timeouts right there.
Yeah, nice recognition. We saw a couple times this year quarterbacks just blatantly ignoring the play clock that's right there in front of you and costing your team 5 yards, especially that deep, is pretty catastrophic, or can be.
Yeah,
we'd like to say, if we have a moment here, we'd like to say thanks to our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. You can also watch tonight's game at audiosportsonline.com.
And with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the first half, Zionsville's leading 14-7. Zionsville is knocking on Avon's door as they have the ball down at about the 4.5 yard line. And right here, this is where Zionsville can really mix up their play calls. It's 1st and goal with 4 yards to go. Obviously they're having success running the football, but this is where they like to do a little play action every once in a while.
It seems to be an extended timeout here.
I think this game is actually televised this week, so I think a lot of times when there's timeouts and official timeouts in between possession changes, they extend the timeout a little bit and they have actual commercials going on.
Yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we saw My Indy TV here. That's usually channel 23 on most local cable networks.
That's right, and that's always a good thing for these kids to have some airtime and have a game or two every year to get on TV and be able to really watch yourself and record it and go home, and it's just a better spectrum without the coaches yelling at you and telling you what you did wrong.
And I don't know if he got the ball across, but
boy, was that
Scott
close.
Panola got about as close as you can possibly get without scoring.
And Parker Dunshee has his hands on his head like, how is that not a touchdown?
Well, he tried to reach the ball out, but I think he kind of alligator armed it because he didn't want to fumble and get the ball knocked out.
Yeah, that's a good point you make right there, because a lot of times the players will stick the ball out trying to get it, and all it takes is one quick hit or even a leg to come in there and jar that ball out, and that's not what you want to have inside the 5 yard line.
But I mean, the ball, to have a touchdown in football, the ball just has to barely be touching the goal line. And it looks as the way they placed it, this has to be a quarterback sneak. And now they're just going to hand it off to Wisniewski. So Steven Wisniewski, the fullback, gets his 2nd touchdown of the night as Zionsville makes this a 2-score game, looking to go up 21-7 on the Avon Orioles.
Yeah, and it's been a very good game so far by Zionsville. Avon, other than the kickoff return for a touchdown, just no offensive production. And, at this point, it's like probably the one good time that you do want to be down because you're going to have to pass the ball against the Zionsville defense, and you have a quarterback and a receiver who can do so, and big tight ends. So we'll see what kind of sense of urgency they have here and see if they're going to try to start throwing the ball.
The extra point is away from the foot of Parker Dunchie, and it's good. So Zionsville will tack on the extra point and make it 21-7 with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go here in the first half. You're listening to Audio Sports Online. ABC Roofing Company is a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcasts and your local source for roofing, siding, gutters, insulation, and more. ABC Roofing has been serving Indy now for 38 years. They have received the Angie's List Super Service Award for an unprecedented 13 consecutive years. They are the area's Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Roofing Contractor, only one of 3 in the entire state of Indiana. They also offer a lifetime workmanship guarantee backed 100% by Owens Corning. ABC Roofing is located at 8499 East U.S. Highway 36, Avon. Call them today at 317-228-9882 or check them out on the web at www.abcrfg.com. Just got word up here in the press box that the total yards tonight, Zionsville 286, Avon 6. So outside of that kickoff return for a touchdown, the Eagles have just dominated this game and really left points on the board still while doing it.
Absolutely. This could easily be 35-7. And, the crazy thing is that Avon has 6 yards tonight. If they score here right before halftime, they're only going to be down 1 touchdown and getting the ball back at halftime or for the second half. So, it just goes to show, offensive production is not measured by yards. It's measured by being able to score and being able to get in position to make field goals and have those chances to score. And as you alluded to, Zionsville has left some points off the board, and Avon is still in this game very much.
That's a very good point you make there, as this kickoff to be made by Parker Dunchie. So he's handling all the kicking duties for Zionsville tonight. And this one will be fieldable, as it's a short kick taken by one of the upbacks. And he looks for room, but just can't quite find it, as he's brought down in a really hard hit there at the end. I wasn't able to make out who that was.
I'm not sure either. Maybe 81 for Zionsville. I don't think I've ever called that kid's name out, but we'll go ahead and say that was Hayden Clark, 5'10", 192, tight end. So a very good hit, and that's one of those situations where the return man just wants to stay up and keep trying to fight his way, and just got kind of rocked right there.
Avon 1st and 10 from their own 19-yard line, so 81 yards ahead of them. The ball, a quick pass outside as they look for some running room, and a nice play and a fumble there, and Zionsville will recover. So to kind of break that down, that all happened very quickly. Jalen Edwards, the receiver, caught a quick pass and took it for about a 15-yard gain before fumbling the ball back to Zionsville. So the Eagles take right back over at the Zionsville 46, and you were just talking about how Avon is in such a privileged position for how poorly they had played in the first half, and now it looks like Zionsville is going to have a real strong chance to tack on more points here at the end of the first half.
And that was one of Avon's only positive yard gains right there, and it was a very nice play, a nice little bubble screen out to Jalen Edwards, their big playmaker, and as he made a huge move, very nice play by Jackson Schaefer to get his hand in there and cause that fumble. He very good job ball hawking and ripped it out, and Zionsville was able to recover and take over.
So the Eagles now at the Avon 46 looks like a timeout is going to be made before they can start the drive. So we'll take time for a word from a couple of our sponsors and then get back to the action. Sullivan's Tire Plus in Danville is a proud supporter of the Avon Orioles broadcast and wants to remind you that in order to receive a complete oil change for $18.99, all you have to do is like them on Facebook. They are located at 8397 East US 36 in Avon. You can call them for all your automotive needs and questions at 317-272-5050, Monday through Saturday. Sullivan's Tire Plus, voted the best in Hendricks County for 3 years in a row. This game tonight is also brought to you by Hendricks Regional Health. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. They care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. And coming back to the action here, 3.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Zionsville leads 21-7, looking to add on to that lead before halftime. Blitz coming for Avon. Parker Dungy, a quick pass, and a nice move there by Colton Smith, avoiding Elijah Daniels. And it's not going to go down as a huge play in the stat sheet, only a gain of a yard, but could have easily been a loss of 5 or 6.
Yeah, absolutely. But a very good job by, like you said, Colton Smith to make the first man miss, who in fact was Elijah Daniel. So, it's a good job, and as you alluded to, it's a lot of work for 1 yard, but nevertheless, it's a big 1 yard because otherwise it's 2nd and 15.
3-step drop for Parker Dungy. The pass is complete to the tight end, Carson Kennedy, down near the Zionsville sideline. The ball stays in bounds down to the Avon 36. So it'll be 3rd and short for Zionsville, and they may actually take time to measure this. Yes, they will. They're going to call a timeout, and they're going to measure this, Alex. You want to go ahead and give your prediction from up here in the press box?
Yeah, I think it's going to be short, barely. Maybe a couple inches, because it's not quite to the 36-yard line, but it's very close, and they are going to bring it out for a measurement. I'm guessing it's going to be third and inches. But, like I said, I think Zionsville being this close to a first down, despite whether or not they get this first down, they're going to go for it on 4th down, and we'll see what they do here. This might be a good time to get Scott Panola in there.
Could be. Alex is a resident pair of eyes up here in the box, as there's no way on earth I could make out whether or not that's a first.
I mean, 1 or 2 inches, it's short.
You're exactly right. You called it a couple inches short, and really it's going to be just the nose of the football moving forward. It's going to give them a first down. I don't even know if you take the time to hand it off here, as well as Parker Dungy, as strong as he is. We've seen him pick up a lot of goal line carries and the quarterback sneak and a few 4th downs throughout the year as well.
Yeah, he sure has. He's this very big kid. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. So, yeah, in high school football, and especially the way Zionsville's been able to control the line of scrimmage up in the trenches, you'd expect for maybe a quarterback sneak, or it's not a bad idea to give it to Wisniewski as hard as he runs.
Yeah, Wisniewski, 2 touchdowns already on the night from down around the goal line, so he's had a nice job running the ball. Actually, Scott Panola ran both those carries and got it down to about the 1-foot line.
Scott Panola must have had the Cole Wint disease on those last 2 carries.
As Wisniewski's hawking touchdowns from all the players tonight. And the quarterback sneak will be good, and actually good for about 2 or 3 yards. They needed 2 or 3 inches. So Zionsville will get a first down inside the Avon 35 as we sit now at 2 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the half.
Yeah, and I remember playing high school football in Zionsville. One of the checks was if there's a gap in between the center and the guard, even if it's 1st and 10, quarterback sneak is wide open, just check to it and go. They told us to do that, and right there, obviously it was an obvious time to do that, but a very good play and good job to get the first down.
Avon jumps a little bit, but able to stay onside, and now the play will be ran to Colton Smith, and he only gets a yard. A nice job there by the Avon defense. 85 I saw was in on the play for Avon. That's Chad Skaggs, the linebacker. He's only a junior, 6'3", 225. A nice size there coming back for Avon next year.
Yeah, it's a very big kid. Avon is a very, very sizable team, and it's a big school to choose from. A lot of kids up there in Hamilton County, and it's just a very good program. Has been for a long time.
And the play action pass and a rollout for Parker Dungy. He's just going to take off and get out of bounds. A nice play there by Parker, avoiding the hit, forced out by number 88 for Avon, Matt Batustak. And it'll be 3rd down and short for the Eagles, now under 2 minutes remaining.
And, yeah, getting out of bounds was clutch there. Even though Zionsville does have 2 timeouts, it's time, to really look at the clock and make sure you're monitoring where the clock is and when you get out of bounds and whatnot. It's very important to take care of the ball and also watch the clock here. And Zionsville's having a very effective drive here, starting the ball at their own. Well, I guess it was at Avon's 45, but they've used a lot of clock here, and we'll see if they try to take a shot.
3rd and 1 now at the Avon 25-yard line. Parker Dungy under center. Zionsville in the I formation. The handoff goes to Scott Panola. He might have gotten that yard. It's going to be pretty close.
It's going to be very close. I think he's a little short, but we'll see what the spot goes. Yeah, he is going to be short once again, couple inches. and they're actually going to say he lost a couple or maybe half a yard. So we'll see what they choose here and play call right here. This would be a very, very big stop for Avon. I think they absolutely have to have this stop just for momentum's sake going into halftime, because you have to expect that if Zionsville does get this first down, they're most likely going to score either a field goal or a touchdown.
Yeah, we should mention that they did miss their field goal attempt earlier this ball game. Wisniewski runs over 2 Avon Orioles, and Wisniewski has really been a force to be reckoned with tonight, as well as all the Zionsville running backs.
Yeah, you absolutely are right. And, one of the biggest things is it's senior night. Whenever it's senior night, the seniors always play better. Carter Spear had an early sack. That was a big play. Jackson Schaefer's been able to make some good plays. And on offense, obviously, Parker Dunshee, John Nomshep, and Wisniewski, and as well as
Chris Mason added one as well. This pass, and it's caught by Carson Kennedy. A very nice catch. He looked like he was actually about to just abandon that route and turn upfield and caught the ball last second. So clock now ticking down to about 30 seconds remaining. Zionsville hurries up to the line of scrimmage here as Parker makes some checks. And the ball is pitched to Scott Pinola, and he runs over a couple Avon Orioles on his way to another Zionsville touchdown. The Eagles put it in the end zone with 25 seconds remaining here in the first half. Zionsville takes a 27-7 lead, and it's been all Eagles this first half.
Yeah, it sure has. And honestly, if you would have told me that Zionsville was going to outgain Avon 330 yards or 320 yards to 10 yards, I would have told you were crazy. And Zionsville has just been very, very effective on offense, throwing the ball, running the ball, and it's great to see it from a Zionsville's fan perspective, because next week against Brownsburg, the best team in the conference, it's a very good opportunity to maybe take them down.
And the extra point's good for the fourth time tonight for Parker Dunshee. And speaking of the sectionals coming up next week, we're going to talk about that at halftime a little bit, and we'll take a break when halftime comes around, and then we'll be sure to get a word from our sponsors and also deliver you some first half stats, although it's going to be a little bit lopsided, we have a feeling. And we'll also talk about the sectionals and the state playoffs coming up next week. Seems like the season goes too fast, doesn't it, Alex?
It sure does. And, we've talked about all season this Zionsville team is a very dangerous team. Their skilled players are phenomenal, and they just are such a solid and fundamentally sound squad, and we've said all year long, if Zionsville can put together a full game where they are solid on defense and offense and can finish drives, there's not very many teams in the state that can actually stop them. Brownsburg shut them out last week, and I think
they did it against Fishers a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they sure did, and they also, they got shut out last week, but I think that was a lot having to do with the weather conditions, and these kids are super, super spoiled having this extremely nice stadium, and there's so many stadiums in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference that does have turf. Lafayette Jeff, HSC, Fishers,
Avon and Zionsville.
Yeah. So almost all of them, they do have turf. So having those occasions where it's super rainy and muddy is not hard to do, or not easy to play against.
And the kick is a squib kick, and it's taken by number 88 as he reverses his field for a second time, now a third time. He just cannot go down, and finally brought down. We got to get you a number. That's Matt Batusak. He's the linebacker for Avon, a senior, 5'10", 170 pounds, and a very nice run. He ran a lot of distance for a little bit of yardage, but impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, he's 5'10", 170. He just ran like he was 6'8", 370. Just would not go down.
Well, and to give you an idea at home, that kick return took 15 seconds off the clock. So that's a pretty long play.
Yeah, it sure was.
Avon, we'll see if they're just going to be content with running this clock out or if they're going to take a shot deep. And they will just hand the ball off. It's number 25, Derek Tennant, once again. And that'll be the end of the first half as Zionsville leads 28-7. All Zionsville first half. We'll be back to you after this word from our sponsors in a couple-minute break for us to refuel up here in the press box, and we'll have stats and some sectional playoff talk coming up to you in the second half. This is Aaron and Alex with Audio Sports Online. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon Football Broadcasts. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone number is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com. we're back in the second half action. We'll come to you here in about 5 minutes. Throughout the course of halftime, Alex was actually able to gain some first half stats. He'll run through those real quick, and then we'll try to give you a minute to talk about the sectional pairings next week.
Absolutely. It's good to be back. Zionsville outgained Avon 333 yards to 26. Zionsville was able to gather 16 first downs to Avon's 1. And as a side note, Avon's only first down came on the play in which the ball was actually fumbled, and that's the only turnover tonight. Although Zionsville does have a turnover on downs inside Avon's territory in the red zone. For Zionsville, Cole Wint had 73 yards on 9 carries. Wisniewski 26 yards on 7 carries, but he did have 2 touchdowns inside the goal line. Parker Dunshee went 11 for 17, 181 yards and 1 touchdown. John Nomchef 80 yards on 4 catches and 1 touchdown. Chris Mason 2 catches, 35 yards.
And so a very nice half, and we expected that as we kind of broke the news to you before half about the total yards gained and the 1 turnover for Zionsville. That actually turned out to be kind of a backbreaker. As you mentioned, Avon was considering how poorly they played in the first half, they were in a decent position until that turnover. And I looked before the game, Zionsville's actually intercepted 12 passes this year, which was double what Avon did and double what a lot of teams in the conference did. So it's kind of a sneaky stat, but they have a bunch of players with multiple interceptions. So on to the sectional pairings next week. This team, Avon, who we're broadcasting for now, actually probably got what many would consider to be the easier side of Sectional 6. Sectional 6 might be I've heard actually on the radio today a couple guys calling it the toughest sectional in the state. Avon's side, Avon will play Decatur Central in the first round, and on the other side of them, they'll play the winner of Terre Haute South and Terre Haute North. And then Zionsville, as we mentioned before the broadcast, is going to get a chance to go get some revenge at Brownsburg. So 2 weeks later, going to have to go to Brownsburg, hoping for a little bit better weather this time. And the winner of that game will play the winner of Ben Davis and Pike. So a very tough side of Sectional 6 Zionsville's on. And you got to think Avon, you would think, has a nice, easy path to the sectional championship. But Terre Haute North is actually not a bad team. We actually called a Decatur Central game last week, Alex, and I don't see any problem with Avon getting past them.
Yeah, surely not. And, I think it goes back to the whole fact, in my opinion and opinion of a lot of people, is that the IHSAA sectionals it's a very flawed system. How you do in the regular season has absolutely no bearing on what happens and who you're paired with. And as we see, the pretty much 1 and 2 in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference are going to face each other first game in that Sectional 6. And, the biggest thing is, even though Zionsville just went to Brownsburg and played them in the Mud Bowl, they have to go back 2 weeks later to Brownsburg, which I think it's warranted. In that situation, it's okay because Brownsburg did have a more successful regular season. But, at the same time, Carmel and another sectional pulls Warren Central, who I think are the top, 2 of the top 5 teams in the state, and one of them is going to be knocked out within the first week of sectionals. It's a long road to state, and I understand how they do sectionals and how they're grouped by regions and where you're located at. But, I think they really do need to put a ranking system in.
Yeah, I think the top 2 teams in the state actually are playing tonight. Carmel and Ben Davis are playing for the MIC championship. I just got word riding up in the elevator from a fellow, it's actually an Avon fan here, told me that Ben Davis leads Carmel 10-7 at half. So if Ben Davis wins that game, they would both teams would end with an 8-1 record, and Ben Davis would have the tiebreaker for the MIC championship. And Warren Central this year, I'm actually surprised that they've lost, I think, 4 games so far this year. Carmel undefeated. Ours has already beat Warren Central once. And to kind of give you an idea, I don't know if you knew this, Alex, Sectional 4 is basically like a new season for the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. It's Anderson is the lone team outside of Hoosier Crossroads. They'll actually play Fishers. And then HSC and Lafayette Jeff will play. So we could see a rivalry game in the second round if Fishers gets past Anderson and HSE gets past Lafayette Jeff. And we probably don't – I wouldn't see any problems with both those games going that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I haven't heard anything about Anderson, but I know that Fishers is a very good team. HSC has already beaten Lafayette Jeff once this year. Although Lafayette Jeff, they did beat Avon. They can be a scary team. They have a lot of athletes. They have a very, very, very good running back, a very fast kid. I honestly don't remember his name, but we watched him the very first game of the season. Yeah. He broke an 80-yard run against Zionsville. So Lafayette Jeff could be a scary team for HSC if they're overlooking that, looking forward to Fishers the next week. But, it's almost sectional time. This game has been very successful, and it's been a very, very good last game for Zionsville against Avon tonight. Very successful, and hopefully they can carry some of that momentum into next week against Brownsburg again.
Yeah, and the other side of that sectional 4 is Westfield, Harrison, Noblesville, and McCutcheon. So there's going to be probably the sectional 4 championship winner is probably going to go the whole entire year up until regionals without playing an out-of-conference team, which I think is pretty strange, but it could very easily work out that way as long as Fishers beats Anderson in the first round, which we both like to happen, honestly. And we have about a minute and a half left to go here in the halftime. It is senior night here at Zionsville, and this second half, once it gets underway, I imagine we're going to see Avon really press here in the second half, and both teams have come out wearing the pink again. Alex, you want to kind of make a word for us here about what wearing the pink means here at Zionsville tonight?
Absolutely. Once again, we were told that tonight is the Zionsville Eagles' second annual Losing is Not an Option Breast Cancer Awareness Night. The Eagles hope that this event makes more people aware of the disease that affects many women each year. The Eagles would like to thank the Susan G. Komen Foundation, St. Vincent's Hospital, Pam Diogostino, and Bright Ideas for providing the pink neon sweatbands worn tonight by both teams, coaches, and cheerleaders, and the pink hats being worn by the Zionsville coaches. Big thanks also goes to the Avon Orioles for participating in tonight's event. That was made possible by the work of ZCHS senior Jacob Fisher and the Zionsville athletic director, Grave Shelace. And, we talked about this earlier, but, breast cancer awareness, most people have had some sort of impactful effect from breast cancer and all the other cancers. So it's great to see these teams and support of this cause. And, a very nice job by Jacob Fisher, a senior, to get this going. We said that a bunch of times tonight. And, I think it's great. It really is great. And any kind of foundational giving to a community we can do is fantastic. And I really do appreciate that.
So we're set to kick off the second half, and Parker Dunshey's actually not going to kick off to start the second half. The kicker for Zionsville is going to be number 95, and that's Jack Grider. We've seen him a lot this year. He's a senior kicker, and he's had some pretty good luck throughout the course of the season, putting the ball in the end zone from time to time. And the only touchdown of the first half came on an Avon kickoff return for a touchdown. So we'll see if Zionsville can avoid that by putting this ball in the end zone. It's a deep kick, but it's going to be fielded right about the 6-yard line for Avon. And a nice tackle there as Zionsville stops Avon inside the 20, right at about their own 17-yard line.
It looks like the tackle right there is made by Ryan Connor. The junior DB was able to get his hands in there and trip up the runner. And, Avon's they've got to get to work and quickly. This Zionsville defense has done a very good job shutting them out and did force that one turnover, but they've got to get something going, and they have to drive down and put some points on the board, or else this game could get out of hand pretty quickly.
Avon under the gun here, so to speak, down 28-7. We'll start out in the I formation. And the first handoff of the second half is to the running back we've seen all game, number 25, and that is Derek Tennant, the sophomore. Good for about a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 5 Avon. And Alex, for Avon, just sustaining a 4 or 5 minute drive would be enough for them here. They've been forced 3 and outs all night long. You said they had one first down, but that actually was fumbled away.
That's right.
Just past the first down marker.
Yeah, and I think their outlook has to be, first down, get 4 or 5 yards. They did that. Get a first down within the next couple plays, and looks like they just did that. So, that's 2 goals that they have put together, and, finally sustain a drive, move the ball, get into Zionsville's territory, and from there, the possibilities are endless. So, I can definitely see them being able to move the ball. They can make a lot of adjustments. Avon historically has done a good job. They have a very good coaching staff at making those halftime adjustments, and we'll see what they can do here.
That last play was to Jalen Edwards, the receiver, on a sweep, and he's headed to Western Kentucky. Should say he's committed to Western Kentucky. Nowadays, you see a lot of switching at the end, approaching the signing day. First down carry for Avon, nets about 1 yard. A nice stop there, really a collapse by the Zionsville front 7. And that looked like trying to get a number up here on the tackle, but it was a whole group of Zionsville defenders. As number 71 checks in the ball game for Zionsville, that's Joshua Trewartha, and he's a defensive lineman that we're going to see. Zionsville this year has actually done a good job rotating defensive linemen throughout the games.
Yeah, they sure do, and their front five is very good. The linebacking crew, Scott Panola, is once again the ball's bottled up for about a 1-yard gain. And, they've had some good success fighting in the trenches against this Avon offensive line, who I will say is very, very sizable going across the board. 6 foot 240, 5'10", 235, 6'3", 300, 5'10", 260, and 6'1", 245. So they're averaging well over 245 yards for an offensive line. That's big. I'm sorry, pounds.
Motion this time for Avon, and the quarterback will keep it. That's Cole Johnson. He gets about 3 yards, not good enough for a first down, and we'll see if Avon's gonna start pushing their luck here and trying to go for the first down, or if they're going to be content with punting it away. The sideline taking a few moments to figure out what they want to do, and it looks like the punt unit will come in. And Alex, when Zionsville gets this ball back, if they get this ball back, do you think that they will just, you're going to see a heavier dose of run plays here in the second half?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good idea for Avon to punt the ball here. It's kind of get that feeling, though, despite the score, there's no sense of getting outside of how you're going to play. And obviously this punter has a huge leg as he bombs one down to the 25-yard line. So very good kick, and this is the furthest back in their own territory Zionsville has started so far tonight. So we'll see what kind of a sustained drive they can get here, and see if they can put another ball in the end zone.
Yeah, you're right. I think Zionsville, this might be their worst starting position of the night. They're at their own 24-yard line, and I imagine if this lead extends to the end of the third quarter, we'll start seeing the second team get in there a little quicker. Want to keep guys healthy, give them a little more rest going into sectionals next week. There's really no interest in keeping them out there longer if the game is already out of hand. And the handoff will be made this time to Cole Went. He drags an Avon tackler right to the first down marker, and I think the way they're spotting it, he's going to have the first down, so a 10-yard carry there to start the second half for Zionsville.
Yeah, very good run, and this Zionsville line, I'm so impressed by how they've done tonight. Really have had no challenge in opening those holes for Cole Wynn and Scott Panola and the running backs with Wisniewski, and also have protected Parker Dunshee very, very well tonight. So, hats off to them, and they've done a really good job.
First down and 10 Eagles at their own 35-yard line. I formation once again for Zionsville. And the pitch this time is to Cole Went as he is brought down. A nice tackle there by number 31 for Avon, and that is Chad Pietik. But there is a flag on the play, and could have been a face mask. They're actually pointing to the Avon side right now. Let's see.
Looks like the indication is, in fact, holding, so it's going to back Zionsville up 10 yards, and it will be first and about 20 yards to go.
And they're going to back them up from the original line of scrimmage. So,
and I think they got number 21, who was in the game for about one play, Robert Wirtz, on the hold there, and it's you don't get in there a lot, and to get in there and get a holding penalty called against you is not what the coaches want to see. So,
well, he's a senior, and maybe trying to work him in the lineup tonight on senior night. We haven't seen him yet this year, I don't believe, but hopefully all the seniors tonight get a chance to play. That's one really nice thing about having this big lead is hopefully Zionsville will be able to work in all their seniors throughout the course of the evening. This time a single back formation, and Wisniewski will actually motion into the backfield. The handoff to Cole Went is taken for about a 3 or 4 yard, a good solid 4-yard gain outside the 30. And Zionsville is going to have 2nd and 16 coming up.
And this is a big second down. It's 2nd and 14, and Zionsville's really got to get a chunk of this back to have a manageable third down. I would expect them to throw the ball here. There's no reason to do a play action fake because it's literally a passing down. So we'll see what the play call is here and see what kind of success they can have.
Zionsville will line up in the I formation once again, as we've seen a lot of, and the handoff is to Cole Wint. He gets just about back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and long for the Eagles from their own 35-yard line. And number 31 was in on the tackle once again. I just said his name a moment ago. That's Chad Piatek, I believe it's pronounced. And he's a junior, listed at 5'10", 180 pounds. And he's listed as a linebacker here for Avon. So actually a lot of juniors on the Avon defense that I noticed, and names that we've called tonight. So some good talent coming back next year for the Orioles. And this time it's a 3-step drop for Parker Dungy. Just gets it off before getting sacked. And they may throw a pass interference flag, but they got away with it as Parker Dungy took a big hit from behind by Duffin, number 49, the defensive end for Avon. Pass was intended for Parker Dungy, and he was not able to come up with it as he was held quite a bit while the ball was in the air.
Yeah, that's definitely a missed call right there. That's the second time that's happened tonight. And
that was John Nomchef, right?
Yeah,
I said Parker Dungy, I believe.
Yeah, but yeah, he was held there and wasn't able to even have a chance to get to the ball. And Zionsville is going to be forced to punt for the first time tonight.
And the punt is very high and towards the sideline, but is fielded. And actually, he stepped out of bounds before making a move. The punt was fielded right along the Zionsville sideline by number 33, Dane Thomas, the senior. And he stepped out of bounds upon fielding the kick. So Avon will take over at their own 31-yard line.
That was a really good punt by Parker Dungy. Not only did he punt it to the sideline, it was high, and he allowed his coverage team to get down there and not allow the runner to get anywhere, even though he stepped out of bounds. So Avon's got some work to do, and the clock is ticking. Yeah,
half the third quarter has already expired, and that you got to think that's what Zionsville is content with. I think they wouldn't mind ending this game 28-7 and moving on to sectionals next week. The play action pass here for Cole Johnson. He's chased down, sack, fumble, and the ball is still loose.
Looks like
Zionsville might have recovered it. We'll see which way they point. And I think Avon got the ball back, but that's about a 15-yard loss. And a nice sack there. That was 84 for Zionsville. That's Daniel McCullough, the defensive end, listed at 6'7", 215. He's a senior and got back there, sack, fumble, Cole Johnson. And how many times do you see that? The ball just seems so easy to land on and seems to find a way to squirm its way out over and over and actually move in the negative direction for Avon.
All the time. It's like the ball has grease all over it.
The handoff up the middle, it's stuffed by the Zionsville defense. Can't say enough so far tonight about the Zionsville defense. They've really answered the bell and had an answer for anything Avon's thrown at them thus far.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. To take a Avon team that has 2 Division I prospects and only allow 1 first down so far this night and less than 50 yards of total offense is just a phenomenal job, you know. And the lone score for Avon has nothing to do with offense. It was just a kickoff return.
And that was number 6, Cody Baker, on that last carry, who we thought we were missing tonight, but I guess he is dressed in plain, but we haven't seen him get a lot of carries. And another carry wrapped up in the backfield and finished off by number 71, Trewartha, who checked in the ball game. And we're good friends with one of the defensive line coaches for Zionsville, and he had high remarks about Trewartha in the last few weeks, saying he could really play, has a high motor, gets after the quarterback, and there finds himself with a tackle for loss.
Yeah, absolutely. He comes in and often replaces Noah Rogers, but he's 6 pounds and who has a he is strong.
Bigger.
He looks very big. And he looks like he has a big wingspan too, which means he's able to wrap up those players and as you saw right there, take them down with some serious strength.
John Nomchef returns the kick, looking for some room and can't quite find it. He's brought down, but Zionsville will start this drive with great field position as we'll take a minute for a word from our sponsors. Avon McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon, Brownsburg, and Danville athletics and is the home of the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, heard every Saturday morning on XRB Radio 1610 AM. Be sure to join us beginning August 25th from 8 to 9 a.m. for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show with interviews of local coaches and student athletes. The show will be airing October 13th at the Avon McDonald's 267. Featured guests are Avon football coach Mark Bless and Danville football coach Ross Sumner. And thanks to our friends tonight at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. And ABC Roofing Company is also a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcasts, and they're your local source for roofing, siding, gutters, insulation, and more. ABC Roofing has been serving Indy now for 38 years. They have received the Angie's List Super Service Award for an unprecedented 13 consecutive years. They are the area's Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Roofing Contractor, only one of 3 in the entire state of Indiana. They also offer a lifetime workmanship guarantee backed 100% by Owens Corning. ABC Roofing is located at 8499 East U.S. Highway 36, Avon. Call them today at 317-228-9882 or check them out on the web at www.abcrfg.com. And a Zionsville drive upcoming, 1st and 10 at their own 46. Waiting on the referee to spot the ball and blow their whistle. Whistle is blown, and Zions will get ready to run their first play of the drive, leading 28-7 over Avon. 3 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in the quarter. Play action pass. It is a high ball to John Nomchef, and it is caught. And a pass interference flag was thrown, but who's that going to be on, Alex?
I'm not sure. I will say the only thing is the defender did not have an eye as to where the ball was, so I'm guessing it's going to go against the defense. I would be really surprised if he would call that against John Nomchef because he really didn't do anything bad. But nevertheless, it was a very good job. Parker Dunshee did exactly what he needed to do on man coverage, just throw the ball high and let John Nomchef go up and get it at its highest point, which is exactly what he did. So a very nice play, and we'll see what the call will be.
Well, I have noticed as we talked to, it's declined. Yes, it was a holding call on the defense, and the penalty has been declined, so the completion is good, which will put John Nomchef over 100 yards here on senior night. And how fitting of a night has it been for Parker Dunshee and John Nomchef, the longtime connection, really clicking here on senior night for one last game at home. Hopefully not the last game at home, but at least the last regular season.
Yeah, it's great to see, and it's happened all year, and last year especially was even more of a prolific year, especially for Nomchef. But going into next week, their success is built off of how well they can connect with each other, and it'll be interesting to see how they do as Carson Kennedy makes a great move after he catches the ball in the flat and is able to break one tackle and get a gain of about 15 yards or 10 yards. So nice job.
Carson Kennedy, we talked about him at halftime. A good receiving tight end, but I think one thing is, I don't know about both of us, but it's a complaint from me, is it seems like he only catches balls out of that same route.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to see him get a few more routes in his repertoire and get him a few more looks up the field, or down the field, rather.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's one of the most underutilized players on this team. He's super athletic, has great hands, and is a big target for Dunshee to find, and I don't think they use him enough, and that's his first read every time almost, and he doesn't have to go there.
We almost always just see him on that boot play. This ball is thrown too far once again for John Nomchef, and that's something that Parker, I'm sure, is going to be working on before next week. When you have John Nomchef with one-on-one coverage there in the end zone, you got to at least give him a chance to go up and make a play on the ball.
Absolutely, you got to give him a chance, but it's also one of those throws where you see it in college and in the pros. It's when they're running that fade route and you do have room on the sideline, throw it to his back shoulder on a line, because the defender's not going to have any idea where that ball is, and it's such an effective play, even in the highest grades of football where the DBs are that much better and more athletic. It's super effective. It's a timing thing, and if they can perfect that, it'll be very effective.
2nd down and 10 yards for Zionsville. The pass to Carson Kennedy just off his fingertips, and another boot play, but this time if he would have caught that ball, he probably would have walked into the end zone, and I'd really actually like to see Carson get in the end zone here on senior night tonight.
Yeah, I sure would as well, and that was one of those situations where where Dunshee had to throw it around the big number 90 Elijah Daniel, because he was right up there once you get on that boot, and just because he had to throw it around, it just kind of was an arid throw and a little bit wide for Carson Kennedy to grab. But if he catches that ball, he's probably going to walk in for a touchdown.
And, at halftime, we heard up here in the press box that Elijah Daniel hadn't really made a whole lot of plays, and people really thought they'd see more out of him. But it's what he does. What's what he does to everyone around him, affecting plays. How many times has Parker had to throw the ball high to get it over him? And he just really changes the angle for the quarterback a lot. And Cole Went gets a pitch to the left and is brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
And that was number 31 on the play, Chad Piatek. We've said his name a few times. And going back to what you were saying, as Zionsville will decide what to do on this 4th and 11, going back to what you're saying, yeah, it's absolutely how he affects the other players around him, and more than anything, he makes noise on every single play. You have to worry about where he's at, and it's knowing where he is, and that's the biggest, most important thing for Zionsville to do when you have that good of a player on defense.
I'd almost compare it to a center in basketball on defense, where maybe they're not going to steal the ball, maybe they don't even block a lot of shots, but they're going to affect everyone's shots coming into the lane.
That's right.
And Zionsville converts that field goal right there, so they tack on to their lead. It's 31-7 Eagles now. 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. That kick was not Parker Dungy, am I right, Alex?
That was
Grider?
the senior. That was Jack Grider. And speaking of making some noise, that's a big field goal, and it's 28-7, and really opens up that lead a little bit. It's a very big field goal. That was about a 35-yarder, so very nice kick, and good to see a senior kick a field goal on senior night.
31-7, and we'll pause for a word from our sponsors. This is from Sullivan's. Sullivan's Tire Plus in Danville is a proud supporter of the Avon Orioles broadcast and wants to remind you that in order to receive a complete oil change for $18.99, all you have to do is like them on Facebook. They are located at 8397 East US 36 in Avon. You can call them for all your automotive needs and questions at 317-272-5050, Monday through Saturday. Sullivan's Tire Plus voted the best in Hendricks County for 3 years in a row. And also tonight, Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. They care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. That's mymotion360.org. Set for what we assume to be the last kickoff of the third quarter here. Zionsville leads by 4 touchdowns over Avon in a game that got out of hand early, and we really did not expect this kind of type of game tonight, Alex. I thought this was going to be a very hard-fought battle to the end.
Yeah, I sure did as well. And, maybe it's a situation where Avon's already looking towards the first round of sectionals. This game really, as you alluded to, does not mean anything. So maybe they're just really expecting to get through this game and start watching film on Decatur Central tomorrow.
Kick taken by number 33, Dane Thomas for Avon, and he is stopped before his 20 once again. So outside of the one kickoff return for the touchdown, Zionsville's kickoff unit has actually done a good job covering kicks tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the first touchdown that was ran back was more of a misdirection, kind of a trickeration reverse, and a lot of times, you're looking at the guy with the ball and not prospectively what's going to happen if he does give it to someone else.
Yeah, that definitely caught the Eagles off guard as Cole Johnson, quick pass to Jalen Edwards. He looks for room to run, and he's finally tackled. And Jalen Edwards, as I mentioned earlier, heading to Western Kentucky next year, hasn't had a lot of opportunities tonight with the ball in his hands. Had the one nice carry for a first down and then actually fumbled it away and gave the ball back to Zionsville. That allowed the Eagles to add on to their lead going into halftime.
Yeah, but you got a little example of the speed of Jalen Edwards right there as he cut all the way back across the field. He has the ability to make a big play on any given down, so you got to really watch him. And Zionsville's doing a good job bottling him up with the zone over here.
And this carry is to Tennant, number 25. He gets out, and that'll be good for a first down to the 30-yard line. A nice carry there by the sophomore running back who's got the bulk of the carries tonight.
And it's very surprising to me that Avon's continuing to run the football. The clock is starting to become their worst enemy as there's only a minute and 15 seconds left, and they're down by 4 touchdowns.
You think they've already sailed this one and kind of mailed this one in, Alex?
I think so. I think they're going to keep playing strong. I think they're going to try to get into the end zone a couple times, but I think it's just going to be a little too, too little too late.
Well, another pitch to Tennant gets 12 yards and a first down, and this may be a case where Zionsville's defense is going to be content with letting them run the ball and getting a few yards as long as it eats up the clock. We're now under 1 minute to go here in the half. And I'm trying to find here the rushing statistics for Tennant throughout the year. Before tonight's game, he only had 39 attempts for 169 yards. So really kind of emerging tonight as Avon's starting running back. And we'll see if he remains the starter moving forward as he gains about 7 yards there on first down.
Well, he's shown a lot of good stuff tonight. Avon hasn't had a lot of offensive production, but this drive so far, he's had very good vision and has gotten a lot of good blocking up front from his line. So, Avon's starting to come on a little bit here, and we'll see what they can do. Obviously, the last series they had, it was a big sack to start off the series, and then they just couldn't do anything from there. So, we'll see what they do.
Handoff to Tennant again. This time, he's tackled for a loss on the play as I believe that was Scott Panola, number 26, the linebacker, in on the tackle. So it'll be 3rd and short for Avon, and I imagine this will be 4-down territory for the Orioles as the third quarter expires. The only team to score this quarter was Zionsville as they added a field goal. We'll switch sides of the field as the Eagles lead 31-7. This is Audio Sports Online. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcasts. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their number is 317-243-2372. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com. And this is going to be a fourth quarter in which I think we're going to expect to see a lot of the seniors that don't normally get a lot of playing time. They're going to try to get them some, and maybe even some of the younger guys towards the end of the game, letting them have a go at it.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, you got to get those seniors in there who don't have a lot of opportunities to play. Sometimes, it's not anything having to do with their talent level. A lot of times these kids don't even start playing football until their junior and senior year. So just, starting that late in your career it's hard to do, especially at Zionsville, to where it's a systematic program. You start really early and you build your way up through and getting to know the same exact plays through middle school all the way up into high school. So hopefully those seniors can get in there and make some noise on their last night of regular season football.
Mentioning, now that you mentioned, not playing football till a later age, we're going to see someone tonight, Alpha Diallo, who just started playing football about a year or two ago, and we might see him get some carries at running back tonight as Cole Johnson unloads deep, had a man open, but the ball was dropped, and I believe that was number 2, Jalen Edwards, if I'm correct. Alex, I don't know if you can see a number.
Yeah, it sure was. It was Jalen Edwards who dropped that pass. Beautiful, beautiful throw. Hit him right in stride. And
well, that's the Division I wide receiver, has offers to Cincinnati, Eastern Illinois, and is actually committed to Western Kentucky. And he hasn't really had an opportunity to make the most of his chances tonight, Alex.
No, he sure hasn't. Most of the passes he's gotten have been in the flat, and that was a good demonstration of the arm strength from Johnson, and also was a good demonstration of the speed of Jalen Edwards. Like, he really flew down past the defensive end, and as looks like this is a broken play, and the quarterback is rushing down the field. He's got
a lot of room and barely ankle tackle by number 25 for Zionsville, but not after a huge gain by Cole Johnson inside the Zionsville 5. Tackle was made by number 25, Ryan Connor, for the Eagles, and a very nice run on what we assume was a broken play there by Avon.
Yeah, and it's very ironic that the biggest play of the game from Avon comes on a broken play, and I feel like that happens a lot in high school football. The broken plays where the defense isn't expecting something to happen the way it does, and maybe Avon ought to draw that up as an option, a hidden option to the near side of the field. So,
well, I think the Zionsville defense has kind of called the dogs off anyways. I think they're going to be content whether or not Avon scores this touchdown.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Pitch goes to Tennant. And he is stopped before he can make it to the goal line. So Avon will have second down at the Zionsville 1, and we'll see if the Zionsville defense kind of has one more last stand to go in. And I imagine we'll start to see the backups enter the game soon, as number 69 just checked in the game for the Eagles.
That's another senior.
Yeah, Harrison Farber. We haven't seen a lot of him this year, so he's going to get some playing time and maybe a good opportunity for him to come up with a goal line stand here.
Sure.
Quarterback sneak, and
no big deal. Looks like
they're going to call him short of the goal line.
Surprising to me. It looks like he was in the end zone, but
they got a good push.
They sure did get a good push, and that's right over the guy who just came in, and now he's coming out. So at least he got one good play in there, and we'll see if Zionsville can come up with a big stop. It is third down. Avon's absolutely going to go for a touchdown no matter what on fourth down. So we'll see what kind of play call they do here and see if they maybe do a little play action and throw it to the tight end. We'll see.
Number 66, Cole Bennett, has checked in the ball game. So Zionsville continues to rotate defensive linemen into the ball game in all sorts of situations tonight. I think we might just see another quarterback sneak here, and we do. And this time, I believe they will call it a touchdown.
We still haven't
gotten a signal yet.
And there they go. They just called it a touchdown. So I thought he was easily in there by the effects of the push from the offensive line, but nevertheless they did wait and called a touchdown. So good job by Avon to punch one in there with 10:16 left in the fourth quarter. Then the score is now 31-13, pending an extra point. Avon will be down 3 touchdowns. But Zionsville has done a very good job. That other than that long broken play, Avon really just hasn't been able to produce anything on offense.
You think it's too early to see an onside kick here, as Avon actually is lining up to go for 2. So they're not going to quit on us yet. And the pass is made from Cole Johnson, and it's complete to the tight end. That's number 87 for Avon. That's Sam Bloom. He's been targeted a few times tonight, but hadn't really come up with anything substantial. Avon will tack on the 2-point conversion to make it a 2-score game.
Yeah, that was smart to go for that. I didn't realize that it was that would have made a 2-possession game. So, yeah, it's still possible. With 10:16 left, I honestly wouldn't expect to see an onside kick quite yet. I mean, Avon, they still have looks like 2 timeouts. So we'll see what they're going to do here, and it just takes one stop to score, and then you're still going to have some time on the clock. So, there's no need to be in such a hurry yet, but at the same time, Zionsville has to come around here and get a few first downs and burn some of this clock up. Don't let this slip away.
Avon McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon, Brownsburg, and Danville athletics, and is the home of the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, heard every Saturday morning on XRB Radio 1610 AM. Be sure to join us beginning August 25th from 8 to 9 a.m. for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show with interviews of local coaches and student athletes. The show will be airing October 13th at the Avon McDonald's 267. Featured guests are Avon football coach Mark Bless and Danville football coach Russ Sumner. We also want to send thanks to our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com or at audiosportsonline.com. And the kickoff for Avon. It is an onside kick, and it's fielded nicely. And I'm trying to get a number on who fielded that. A very nice job by Zionsville.
Looks like that was number 34. And that is Glenn Collier, who's a 6'1", 181 receiver. He's a junior. Doesn't really get a lot of playing time, but when you have to get in there with a hands team, that's a great play to make right there.
Very important play for the Eagles to field that onside kick. 10 minutes, 16 seconds left to go in the ball game. Zionsville leads 31-15. I formation here for Zionsville. All the starters still in the game as Avon narrowed the gap there, scoring the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Cole Went gets about 5 yards on the carry. And it'll be 2nd and 5 Zionsville at the Brownsburg 45-yard line.
Yeah, and one of the things that's risky about an onside kick is if they do recover the ball, Zionsville has one play and they're already back into Avon's territory. So you know, maybe too early to do an onside kick, maybe not, but gotta credit them for trying. They want to win this ball game. It's evident.
Considering they were down 31-7 last game of the season, I don't think you take anything off the table at this point. And the pitch will go to Cole Wynn again as he fights for running room and gets about a yard with forward progress, but not much. A nice job there getting penetration by the Avon defense. Number 46 I saw was in on the tackle for Avon. That's David Shaw.
And so now this is probably the biggest third down of the night right here. This is going to be the difference between Avon getting the ball back and being able to score, or Zionsville moving this ball deeper into Avon's territory. This is very big here.
We'll try to get some scores to you from around the conference and some the bigger games around the state by the end of this game. 8.5 minutes left to go. And it's a play action as Parker sprints out. He can't find anyone. Stiff arms and throws the ball out of bounds, but it has to get back to the line of scrimmage. So that's going to be an intentional grounding, I believe, as the ball has to cross the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's a great play by number 44 on Avon's defense. That was Joe Belden. Very nice job chasing the quarterback down. And Parker tried his hardest to get that ball out of his hands, but you really got to wait. Or as soon as you get outside the tackle box, if nothing's there, that's when you got to throw it away. Don't wait and try to beat him on the outside. And unfortunately, he just wasn't able to get the ball deep enough to throw it past the line of scrimmage. And so Zions will lose many yards on a penalty and will be backed up to their own 43-yard line, and will have to be forced to punt here.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a 10-yard penalty and a loss of down. So Zionsville will be forced to punt, and Avon now, if they can somehow get another score here, we're looking at a tight ball game. Zionsville maybe got a little bit lackadaisical coming out after that big halftime lead.
They sure did, and a lot of times it's hard not to be complacent. It's senior night, it's a great atmosphere, and being up 31-7, it's hard not to call the dogs off and ease into a victory and use some of the clock. But with 8:29 left, Zionsville's only up by 16 points, and Avon's going to get the ball back.
Another nice punt there by Parker Dunchie as it is placed perfectly along the Zionsville sideline and rolls out of bounds. So Avon will take over at their own 25, and a timeout has been called. So we're going to take a timeout on our side as well and bring you a word from our sponsors. ABC Roofing Company is a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcast and your local source for roofing, siding, gutters, insulation, and more. ABC Roofing has been serving Indy now for 38 years. They have received the Angie's List Super Service Award for an unprecedented 13 consecutive years. They are the area's Owens Corning Platinum Preferred roofing contractor, only one of 3 in the entire state of Indiana. They also offer a lifetime workmanship guarantee backed 100% by Owens Corning. ABC Roofing is located at 8499 East U.S. Highway 36, Avon. Call them today at 317-228-9882 or check them out on the web at www.abcrfg.com. We'll see if Avon can make this a one-score game. They would need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion in order to do that, and they would still at that point be down 8. So although it's a 2-score game, there's an asterisk next to it. Both scores would need to be accompanied by a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is seemingly the most important drive of the night for Avon. Regardless of what happened in the first half, and regardless of what the score was at the end of the third quarter, it's still a ball game, and Avon does have an opportunity to come out here and put themselves back into a one-possession game.
And the handoff to Tennant, number 25. He gets about 2 yards, maybe 3 on the play. Brought down by number 40, Noah Rogers for the Eagles.
And so Avon successfully puts themselves in a manageable second down. And the last drive they had, the first thing they did was get to 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. it speaks worlds, and it allows them to do whatever they want to do on offense when they can do that.
Quick play here for Avon. Cole Johnson throws deep to Jalen Edwards, and Tyler Glenn plays it, but he can't quite make the play as Jalen Edwards hauls in the catch, and that'll move the ball all the way down to the Zionsville 30-yard line. And that's good, about a 40-yard play right there. And the ball seemed to have hung up in the air for a long time, enough for the Zionsville defender to get over and make a play on it. But I think Tyler Glenn right there just kind of misjudged the landing spot of the football.
Yeah, not only did he misjudge the landing spot of the football, but he definitely misjudged the speed of Jalen Edwards right there. They were pretty much neck and neck until the ball was thrown, and Jalen Edwards just pretty much blasted by him.
Cole Johnson tries to get around the outside again this time, and he does for some yardage, but not too much, as he's pushed out of bounds along the Zionsville sideline after about a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, and Avon is really trying to make this a dramatic comeback, being down as much as they were to come back here and have an opportunity to be in Zionsville's territory. There's 7 minutes and 30 seconds left, and Zionsville is just kind of shut down on defense a little bit, and Avon's been able to do whatever they want.
Sometimes it's easier to be the aggressor on offense, and they're playing with a little bit of reckless abandonment on offense, knowing that they're down quite a bit here still. Cole Johnson looks deep, and he throws over the middle and almost picked off. If it was a little higher, number 41, I believe that's Jackson Schaefer, that had a chance at the interception, but the ball was thrown too low. So that'll be an incomplete pass, and 3rd and 3 coming up for Avon.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of a misthrown ball, a little bit off, and it looks like the quarterback, Cole Johnson, is very content on continuing to throw to Jalen Edwards. He went right to his side, and I'm expecting him to keep going there. He's a good receiver and has super lightning speed.
Cole Johnson takes it up the middle, and he's stuffed. That's going to be a loss of about 2 yards. And a very nice play there by the Zionsville defense to stay at home. And I should mention, I have a word here from Twitter that Ben Davis actually leads Carmel 13-7. And apparently Antonio Allen for Ben Davis is having a whale of a game. He's was originally committed to our alma mater, Ole Miss, and now he actually has committed to the Indiana Hoosiers for next year. But apparently he's having a great game, and we'll try to keep you posted on that throughout